to serve you like never before. Our new space means more technology, more service, and more solutions, all designed with you in mind. Plus, we're hiring. If you're ready to grow with a company that values innovation and community, join our team today. Proudly serving Las Vegas for 23 years and counting. Les Olson IT, your business better. Les Olson IT.
The biggest games and the best matchups are heard here on ESPN Las Vegas, 1100 AM and 100.9 FM, KWWN, Las Vegas.
Coming up on SportsCenter all night. The Red Sox and Cubs go at it in Chicago.
The stretch and the pitch to Steya. Swinging a drive, left center field and deep. Back goes Rafaela. Back toward the wall. That ball is gone.
All-Star Weekend kicks off in the WNBA.
How about the money ball? She got it at 28 already.
We have the latest from Day 2 of the Open Championship.
I felt like I hit a few more fairways than I did yesterday. Hit some really nice iron shots, and was able to hold some putts.
Plus, we head to Indiana with SportsCenter's 50 States in 50 Days.
My takeaway from the first half is how competitive this league is, and how when you look at the top teams, there are so many contenders.
From the worldwide headquarters of ESPN, this is SportsCenter all night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Now, here's Jim Basquill.
WNBA reaches All-Star Friday night, and yes, Major League Baseball returns. Welcome to SportsCenter all night on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. We are brought to you by Progressive Insurance. We got plenty ahead in the show, including world number one Scotty Scheffler showing why he's just at the Open Championship. But we lead it off on the diamond as the season resumed on Friday, led off by the Red Sox and Cubs from Wrigley. Boston riding a 10-game winning streak. Chicago carrying a 1-game Central lead into first pitch. The Cubs' Seiya Suzuki was not an all-star despite leading baseball in RBIs at the break. Friday, he wasted no time in doing what he's done all season long.
The stretch and the pitch to Steya. Swinging a drive, left center field and deep. Back goes Rafaela. Back toward the wall. That ball is gone. It's a 3-run homer. Seiya Suzuki gives the Cubs a 3-0 lead. Listen to Wrigley.
That's Cubs Radio Network. Suzuki's 3-run shot in his first at-bat. Chicago stopping Boston's 10-game winning streak 4-1. Colin Ray pitched 5 innings, allowed 1 run, 4 hits. Fourth consecutive win for him. Boston had won 12 of 13 to surge into contention in the American League East. The Red Sox, though, left 8 runners on base in the opener of a 6-game road trip. Jeff Passan on game night on the biggest NL challenger to the Dodgers.
I think right now it's the Chicago Cubs. Best run differential in baseball, a nasty lineup, 1 through 9. When Seiya Suzuki's not making the All-Star game with 25 home runs, and you've already got Pete Crow Armstrong and Kyle Tucker out there, Ian Happ in left field, Michael Busch has been awesome at first base, Dansby Swanson and Nico Horner up the middle, and look, whether it's Matt Shaw at third or they go elsewhere and Carson Kelly behind the plate, they can bang.
Big lineup for Chicago. Let's keep that AL East train moving.
It's 1-1. Hit on the line. Fair ball, right field. Hugging the chalk as it bounces into the corner. Kirk scores. Loperfido right behind him. He scores. Into second. Will Wagner with a little wave of the hand back to the dugout. It's 3-0 Blue Jays on Loperfido and Wagner doubles in the second.
That's Sportsnet 590, The Fan. That knock backing Chris Bassett. He and 3 relievers combined on a shutout. First place Blue Jays blank the Giants 4-0. AL East leaders kicked off the second half, improving to 33-16 at home. They roughed up Justin Verlander, who was 0-8 on the season. He allowed 4 runs, matched the season high by allowing 9 hits in 2 2/3 innings, extending his career worst winless streak to 16 starts.
Strider's 2-2. And there's a high towering fly ball to deep right field. Acuna back towards the corner, shy of the warning track, makes the catch in deep right. Bebas tags from second, and he goes into third base, and they got him standing. He is shocked. He had no idea who was in right field. That's Ronald Acuna.
Yeah, that it is. Ronald Acuna Jr. 2 for 3 with a double, triple, and a run scored. Also threw out Yorvit Vivas, as you just heard, on a double play to end the third inning. What must be said is Vivas wasn't running hard, didn't slide, and was duped by third baseman Nacho Alvarez. He was the third out with Aaron Judge up next. He would have batted with 2-on-2 gone as the tying run. Instead, bottom half of that frame, 3-0, was doubled up with one big swing.
Oh, Juan Ozzie drives one deep down the right field line to the fair pole. It flies. That is good! Into the second deck of the Chop House, a 3-run homer, and the Braves have a 6-0 lead on New York.
Oh, those calls on 680 The Fan. Ozzie Albies, a 3-run shot. Braves beat the Yankees 7-3. Spencer Strider, 6 shutout frames. Striking out 8, allowed just 3 hits. Albies had 4 knocked in. Clinton Yates liking this AL East race.
I feel that the Blue Jays being at the top of the AL East is one of those things that makes me very happy for Blue Jays fans, because these last couple seasons have been very up and down and very wishy-washy. Them being in the mix with the Yanks and the Bo Sox, that's a good race. It is good when Yanks-Bo Sox is a thing coming down the stretch. That is 100% true.
There's another team involved.
Morton sets and pitches. Fly ball, well hit deep to left field. Counter turns and looks. It's gone! Junior Caminero starts the post-All-Star break portion of the season with a blast. And it's a first-inning 3-run lead for the Rays.
Yeah, that's the All-Star Home Run Derby runner-up. Junior Caminero went deep twice, as heard on 620 WDAE, but he had some long ball partners.
And the pitch lifted in the air, deep to right center field. Back to the wall it goes. Grand slam. Yandy Diaz. And nothing Rays.
Indeed, Yandy Diaz, that grand slam as the Rays beat the O's 11-1 to snap a 4-game skid. Danny Jansen added his 10th home run, backing Taj Bradley, who threw 6 shutout innings. Charlie Morton gave up 7 runs on 8 hits. Gunnar Henderson, a triple and a double, and a run scored for the O's in that defeat. Now, speaking of races, AL MVP, of course, includes Aaron Judge, but he has some competition, Jeff Passan.
And the fact that this is even a race is incredible, because the start that Judge got off to, hitting 400, mashing home runs right and left, trying to win another MVP award, it seemed like a fait accompli. And then on came the big dumper. And what Cal Raleigh has done at this point in the season is absolutely incredible. You know, there's a guy who had a career high home runs in the 30s. He's got 38 already. He's going to smash the single-season record for catchers. And the question is, can he lead the Seattle Mariners to the postseason and maybe bolster his MVP case in doing so?
Yeah, more on the Mariners and Major League Baseball later in the show. This is SportsCenter All Night on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. I'm Jim Basquill. Open Championship, and Scotty Scheffler made birdie on 2 of his last 3 holes for a 64. That gives him a 1-shot lead over former U.S. Open champ Matt Fitzpatrick. Scheffler is going for the 3rd leg of the career Grand Slam at Royal Portrush. He won the PGA Championship in May and is a 2-time Masters champ. Scheffler, 4th 36-hole lead or co-lead at a major championship. Only player in the top 10 of the first 3 majors of 2025. A 3-time, as I mentioned, major champ. Had this on what it felt like at the start.
It all depends on conditions. And we were teeing off. I mean, depending on what weather forecast you looked at, I mean, it was going to tell you something different. And, you know, it was super sunny. We were on the driving range. We're out there in short sleeves. It's warm out. And then we get to the first hole. It's still sunny. And then all of a sudden you just look around. It's super dark. And then it just starts pouring rain. You're like, oh, boy, I wonder how long this is going to last. And, you know, fortunately, it didn't pour the whole time. We only had maybe 4 or 5 holes where it was really coming down, and I was able to take advantage of the holes where we had some good weather.
Hey, birdies today, incredible. What went well, or what was different than yesterday? I guess.
Yeah, I felt like I hit a few more fairways than I did yesterday. Hit some really nice iron shots, and was able to hold some putts.
Yeah, consistency with him, right? And he has finished inside the top 25 in all 15 starts this season. Enters the week with 10 consecutive top 10 finishes. FedEx Cup leader has 12 top 10s this season, 4 more than any other player on the tour. ESPN golf analyst Paolo Uggetti on SportsCenter on what's worked for the world's #1 player 2 rounds in.
It's the fact that he made 8 birdies and had the low round of the day, but it's not just that he made the 8 birdies. It's how he made them. Today, he made over 132 feet of putts, which put him at second in the field in putting. Now, here's why that's important. Scottie Scheffler's already the best ball striker in the sport, and it's no surprise that he leads the field in that category as well. But with his putting figured out, he's been able to give himself birdie look after birdie look. Earlier in the week, he talked about how he had to get used to the slower speeds and the different surfaces on this side of the world, but through 2 rounds, it seems like he's done just that. If he continues to strike the ball the way that he has, and if he continues to make the putts the way he's done it, then it's not just about the fact that he might win this tournament. He might run away with the Claret Jug.
Fitzpatrick, meantime, making his 10th start at the Open Championship, has 2 wins in 172 PGA Tour starts. That includes the 2022 U.S. Open. Would become the 20th player to win the Open and U.S. Open during their career, had this post-round.
He's an exceptional player. He's world number 1, seeing Tiger-like stuff. So I think the pressure for him is to win the golf tournament. Obviously, for me, I'm going to have, I hope, some more home support than him. But it's an exciting position for me to be in, given where I was earlier this year.
Yeah, respect for the guy he's chasing. Xander Schauffele making the cut for the 69th straight time, dating back to the 2022 Masters tournament. That's the 6th longest streak in tour history. Rory McIlroy lost some ground with his 69. That leaves him 7 shots off the lead.
I'm excited for the opportunity. I didn't have that opportunity 6 years ago, so to play an extra 2 days in this atmosphere in front of these crowds, I'm very excited for that, and I feel like my game's definitely good enough to make a run. As I said, I'm excited for the weekend.
Caitlin looks like she's in pain.
I'm not really sure that it's a re-injury as much as a different kind of injury.
There's really no comparison. Like, you can't replace Caitlin Clark if she's not available to go, right?
Indeed, but there were players out there getting things done this weekend. Caitlin Clark couldn't take part, but was on hand Friday for All-Star Weekend, WNBA All-Star Friday night, Saturday's game on her own court in her own city of Indianapolis. The Fever's biggest star missing the events with that groin injury. Without her, though, there was still some fine shooting in the three-point contest.
Sabrina Ionescu, just ridiculous again. From the wing, starting to slow a bit. How about the money ball? She got it at 28 already. Ionescu, this is absurd. She is the master of this contest. A 30 spot for Sabrina Ionescu. Gray with a pretty impressive performance, but it will be Sabrina Ionescu who is the champion yet again. Sabrina Ionescu, the three-point queen.
Ryan Rucco on ESPN. Sabrina Ionescu winning the three-point contest yet again. She won the title in 2023 with a record performance, had a strong final round scoring 30 points. It was less than her record-breaking effort of 37 2 years ago when she made 25 of 27 shots, most ever in either the WNBA or the NBA. She had this following this latest round and latest title with our Holly Rowe.
Sabrina, you have now become only the second player ever to win back-to-back or to win 2 in a row. Allie Quigley is the other. Your name will be in the record book for this competition. What does that mean to you?
It means everything. The last time I was here in Indy against Steph, I lost, so I feel like I had to come back and redeem myself.
You told me you've never felt so much pressure in your life. That's at Lucas Oil, 55,000 people. How did you feed on the fans here? Because you know these are your W people.
It was amazing. I mean, I feel like we put on a great show. These are the best players in the W here in the skills competition and now in the three-point, and we feed off the energy here and super excited to bring All-Star Weekend here to Indy.
Your record that you set, that's a record for men and women, was 37. Tonight, a 30. That is the second highest all time. How important is it that you continue to put up these kind of numbers on this stage?
Well, I'm pretty disappointed. I feel like I missed a few easy ones there that I definitely could have made, so I'm sorry about that. But just happy to be here and obviously happy to have one with my teammate, Natasha Cloud, who won the skills competition as well.
That's right. It's a New York Liberty sweep. I know you guys are getting right before the All-Star break, your team going on a run to win more games. How important is that to keep this momentum and juju going?
Yeah, I mean, it means everything. Obviously, All-Star break is a great opportunity to kind of rest, regroup. and have fun and obviously enjoy where you're at and the accolades that you've achieved. And you kind of get back to work here on Tuesday. We play Indy, so wish us luck.
Yeah, good luck. Tosh, get in here. You do the honors. Let's go. We got another top 10 moment.
Dub your head. Dub your head. Yeah.
New York Liberty.
Thank you.
Yeah, as you just heard, her Liberty teammate was a winner in the other All-Star Friday contest. That is later in the show. WNBA All-Star Game later tonight as well, 8:30 Eastern. You can see it on ABC. ESPN senior women's basketball writer Michael Vopel on a game night on a player you should be looking out for.
You know, I think we're going to see a pretty good game from Nafisa Collier. She's right now with the Minnesota Lynx. She's been a great player her entire career, but has really elevated her game the last couple of years. She was the MVP runner-up last year, the favorite for the MVP this year, and right now leading the WNBA in scoring. So she's one of the team captains along with Caitlin. I would be on the lookout for her because I think she's going to have a very good game tomorrow.
Now, coming up, more from the baseball bunch as the Phillies get a pair of bombs from Bryce, but is it enough? While a Diamondbacks All-Star is not with his team, we'll explain the unusual circumstances as to why. That's next. This is SportsCenter All Night on ESPN Radio.
In 1979, the first words spoken on ESPN weren't just an announcement.
If you're a fan,
they were a sports prophecy.
Right now, you're standing on the edge of tomorrow.
This fall, the next era of ESPN begins. Sports forever.
More SportsCenter All Night coming up next.
Every great team has its core players, but when the season gets tough, adding the right free agent can make all the difference. The same goes for business. At Robert Half, we found that 67% of companies surveyed plan to increase their use of contract talent to handle workload peaks and backlog projects. With Robert Half's specialized recruiters' experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can quickly find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.
Surprise! Your table saw broke. Also, the warranty expired weeks ago, so you need to pay for anyone out of pocket.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Oh, and the replacement part of the order doesn't fit, so it's completely useless. What a waste.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Hey, Chuck, how long has Dollar Loan Center been around?
We opened our first location 27 years ago in 1998. We started with one location in Las Vegas, and now we have over 60 across Nevada, Idaho, Utah. Look, we opened 11 locations just last year in Nevada and Idaho, and we're on track to open 15 more this year in Utah.
And you guys lend online too, right?
Absolutely, at don'tbebroke.com. Not only do we lend online in the states we have stores in, but we also lend online exclusively in Oklahoma, Missouri, and Wisconsin. DLC is one of the fastest growing lenders in the country.
Thanks, Chuck. Dollar Loan Center has over 60 locations, or you can go to don'tbebroke.com and get fully funded from the comfort of your smartphone. New customers enjoy 1 week free interest, and you can get up to $5,000 in minutes.
The Nevada Division of Emergency Management, Homeland Security, our preparedness portfolio strengthens Nevada's ability to anticipate, respond, and to recover from disaster. Through strategic planning, hands-on training, and risk reduction initiatives, we equip communities, businesses, and emergency responders with the tools to stay ready. By identifying vulnerabilities in systems and implementing long-term solutions like infrastructure improvements, building stronger communication networks, shaping forward-thinking policies, and expanding public outreach. We are building resilience across Nevada for a safer, more prepared state. Remember, we all play a role in keeping Nevada safe. If you see something, say something. This message is sponsored by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, the Nevada Division of Emergency Management, and your local emergency manager's office. It is aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
It's time to fill the bus for communities and schools. Join us as we help local students get the supplies they need for this school year. You can help. On July 24th, stop by Sam's Club at 215 and Rainbow or NV Energy on Sahara. Check out CISnevada.org for more info. Fill the Bus School Supply Drive, sponsored by America First Credit Union, Richard Harris Law Firm, and Lotus Broadcasting.
At Intermountain Health, we believe life is a circle. May yours surround you with insight, a healthy perspective, trust, and reassurance. The belief that our differences aren't that different, and compassion just when you need it most. Life is a circle. May yours help you live the healthiest life possible. Intermountain Health.
As heard on Sports Radio 94 WIP, Bryce Harper homered twice, had 4 knocked in, but it was not enough.
Pitch swung on, and that ball is driven to left field and way back there, and that ball is not coming back. Taylor Ward hits his 22nd home run of the year, and he's given the Angels a 6-4 lead, and the
Angels beat the Phillies 6-5. Teams combined, they had 6 home runs. It was Ward's shot, his 22nd of the season in the 7th, that finished off that Angels comeback from a 3-run down.
Pitches Mets manager Carlos Mendoza, despite full rest for everyone in the pen, went to his last option. Pitching Alejandro Carrillo in the 5th inning, he gave up that Matt McClain go-ahead 2-run home run. So Mendoza, who has a great feel for using that pen, left him in to serve up another 2 home runs in the 6th frame.
He swings and he whacks one to center field. This is well hit. Going back, Taylor at the wall. He leaps. It's gone. Hayes has done it again. His 2nd home run of the night. The Reds lead is 4-2.
Now, Austin Hayes hit 2 of Cincinnati's 4 home runs. Nick Lodolo, 7 strong innings. Reds over the Mets 8-4. Outfielder TJ Friedel had tied a major league record. He was hit by a pitch 3 times by 3 different Mets pitchers. Hayes had this postgame.
Austin had the optional workout yesterday. At the end of the workout, an opposite field hitting contest. You win. First 2 at-bats, opposite field home runs. Any correlation?
Yesterday when I was trying to hit opposite field homers to get more points, I kept popping it up. So I was just sticking with the single to the opposite field approach today, and I caught a couple balls that were up in the zone just right and got them over the wall.
Man, it worked. It worked. He was on FanDuel Sports Network. Tune into baseball action today as the Reds and Mets go back at it. Mets hosting the Reds. It's presented by Progressive Insurance. Coverage begins at 3:30 Eastern right here on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
And the 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Double-digit strikeouts for Quinn Priester. He's got 10, and he's thrown 6 scoreless at Dodger Stadium.
As 620 WTMJ, Quinn Priester out-dueling Tyler Glasnow for 6 innings. Caleb Durbin homered and drove in both Milwaukee runs. Brewers beat the Dodgers 2-0. That's their 8th straight win. Priester allowed just 3 hits, struck out a season-high 10 on just 77 pitches.
Pitch on the way. Manny swings, hits it in the air to deep left field. Wood is going back. He looks up. It's going to go. Manny Machado hits the Padres' first grand slam of 2025, and it's a big one against Kyle Finnegan here in the 9th inning as the Padres break it open and go ahead 7-2.
As 97-3, the fan Manny Machado's grand slam capped the 5-run ninth. Padres over the Nats 7-2. Dylan Cease struck out 10 over 5 1/3 scoreless, yielding just 4 hits. How about this? Diamondbacks All-Star second baseman Ketel Marte placed on the restricted list after his home was burglarized during the All-Star break. He was not in the lineup against St. Louis as he deals with Scottsdale police what was called a high-dollar residential burglary while he and his family were in Atlanta. His team, though, got it done without him.
Vellante set. He deals. Breaking ball. That's a line drive into center field. That's down for a hit. Thomas scores. Here comes Herrera. The throw is cut off. It's a 2-run single, and the Diamondbacks extend their lead. It's now 3-0.
And Geraldo Perdomo knocked in a pair backing Brandon Pfaadt, who pitched 7 scoreless. Diamondbacks beat the Cardinals 7-3. Pfaadt 4 hits, strikeouts, no walks, second straight strong start for the right-hander. Now, despite getting hit in the hand during the All-Star game, Arizona's Eugenio Suarez was in the lineup, had a hit and a walk, but may not be long for Arizona. David Schoenfeld with the trade deadline around the corner.
It does look like a perfect match. The Yankees, they just moved Jazz Chisholm back to second base, right before the break. They released DJ LeMahieu. So they kind of have a gaping hole at third base. And like I just said, I think they want to improve that offense because they're not sure what they're going to get from some of their second-tier players. So Suarez, what's he have, 29 home runs. He might be a 45-homer guy. You put him behind Aaron Judge in that lineup, suddenly that lineup looks a lot stronger.
How about last licks for the Fish?
1-1. Kyle swinging away. Out to right and deep. The All-Star leaves the yard. Welcome to the second half. Same Kyle. A walk-off, two-run home run. 8-7 the Marlins get the win in 10. This guy is unbelievable.
Indeed, 940 WINZ. Kyle Stowers, two-run walk-off home run. Marlins 8-7 over the Royals. They gave back a 5-0 lead, but he made them winners, extending his on-base streak to 10 plate appearances, tying a club record.
Harris, he deals. Swung on. Line drive right field. That's a base hit. JP around third. It goes to the corner. He's going to score. Julio into third. Cal Raleigh drives in a run. It's 4-1 Mariners. The crowd in a frenzy. They're on their feet as the Mariners have added 2.
And the big dumper plate and a run. Seattle Sports 7:10 a.m. Randy Rosarino went deep as well. Luis Castillo 6 2/3 scoreless. Mariners over the Astros 6-1 get within 4 games of Houston for first place in the West.
And the pitch. Seager belts one to right center field, and that is in there for a base hit. Past the diving Perez all the way to the wall. 1 run is home. Here comes Smith to the plate, and he will score. It's a 2-run double for Corey Seager, and the Rangers lead 2-0.
That's 105.3 the fan. Corey Seager, 2-run double with 2 outs in the 8th. The Rangers get back to 500, 2-0 over the Detroit Tigers. The Tigers losing streak now at 5. Guardians beat the A's 8-6. David Fry went deep in that win. Jonathan Rodriguez, his first big league home run. The Rockies beat the Twins 6-4, and Luis Robert homered and drove in a pair. White Sox all over the Pirates. That's a 10-1 final, winning for just the 12th time in 48 road games. Coming up, more from WNBA All-Star Friday night, and another member of the New York Liberty shining while 50-50 reaches the state of Indiana. That's X. This is SportsCenter All Night.
Michelle Smallman, and coming up Monday, the huge quarterback contracts have slowed down, but I'll tell you, the one QB who has the chance to earn themselves a huge payday. It's on Sportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-555-2085. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-555-2085. That's 800-555-2085. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with, call Big Lou at 800-555-2085.
Catholic Charities of Southern Nevada and Touchstone Living are ready to change someone's life with their 2025 New Home Raffle. Visit VegasNewHomeRaffle.com to get your raffle ticket today. You could win a beautiful new townhome built by Touchstone Living for $250,000. When you enter, you'll be helping feed homebound seniors through Meals on Wheels. There's no limit to the number of entries, but only one winner will get the keys to their new home. Don't miss out. Get your tickets now at VegasNewHomeRaffle.com and help make a difference. That's VegasNewHomeRaffle.com.
Banking should be personal. At Westar Credit Union, it is. We're not just another financial institution. We are a trusted partner in savings, loans, and life's biggest moments. Join today and let's build your future together. Westar Credit Union. Rooted in Nevada, built for you. Visit weststar.org or your nearest branch and get started today.
The world's largest Formula One attraction is now open at Grand Prix Plaza. Step into the action with F1X, a cutting-edge 4D experience where you design your own custom F1 car in a fully immersive tech-powered space. Then hit the track with F1 Drive, the only karting experience that lets you race on an F1 circuit. It's Formula One like you've never seen or felt before. Nevada residents save up to 25%. Get your tickets now at GrandPrixPlaza.com.
Flood season schmeezing. It's just a little rain and you're in a car. Drive through the puddle. It's like a free car wash. And you've got places to go. Come on, got it.
Yeah, that's not the way to do it. You simply can't tell how deep floodwater is in the road, and it only takes 1 foot of rushing water to pick up your car. Drowning in your car is a tragedy you can avoid. Never drive through floodwater because water always wins.
Brought to you by the Regional Flood Control District.
Beat the heat and pack up the car. Bring the kids and make memories that last without spending a fortune. Cedar City in beautiful southern Utah is closer than you think and cooler than you expect. An easy 3-hour drive and you can enjoy that cool mountain air. Enjoy an amazing hike in one of the many nearby national parks or some great fishing in the nearby lakes and reservoirs. There's something for everyone and it won't break the bank. Visit cedarcity.com to plan your summer escape.
Hello, I'm Jesse Fonseca with Park Place Realty. I have been your local broker since 1990. Yes, that's 35 years. So if you're looking at selling or buying a home, I'd love to be your choice. Call or text for more information, 702-736-3000. I'm also a mortgage banker, so if no one will lend you, I'll lend you. I have a lot of money. Credit restoration, notary, and much more. Call for a free home evaluation, 736-3000.
License D143790. Geneva Financial 393995.
Seiya Suzuki's 3-run home run, the game's big blow. Ronald Acuna Jr.
Mason and Ireland.
Some people do a lot of dumb stuff.
Usually us.
Yeah, we are in that market, as Luke Robitaille will tell you.
The biggest show on the radio, weekdays at noon on 710 ESPN.
This is SportsCenter All Night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Now, here's Jim Basquill.
And ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Commercial Insurance protects small businesses with affordable coverage options. Quote today at progressivecommercial.com.
Half-hour headlines on SportsCenter All Night.
Again, our top stories. Major League Baseball is back from the All-Star break. Cubs snapped the Red Sox 10-game winning streak. Seiya Suzuki's 3-run home run, the game's big blow. Ronald Acuna Jr. does it with his bat and arm as the Braves best the Yankees. Rays slammed 4 home runs, including a granny, and putting 11 runs on the board against the O's. Scotty Scheffler shoots a 64 to grab the lead at the Open Championship halfway through. And Sabrina Ionescu wins the WNBA's three-point shooting contest at All-Star Friday night.
Cloud with 7 seconds left. The chest pass is in. The layup with 2, with 1. Cloud beats the buzzer. Natasha Cloud is your WNBA Kia Skills Challenge champion.
And the Liberty cleaned up on Friday as not only did Ionescu win that three-point contest, but her New York teammate Natasha Cloud was the skills champion. This is Cloud with our Holly Rowe.
Okay, I want you to have the victory lap. We're going to do that in 1 second. But first, I mean, this was intentional. Your pace on the bounce passes, you are known as a great passer. Tell me how you were kind of processing that in the moment.
I knew that was like a definite for me, is that I was going to hit my passes within these obstacles. So I wanted to be as fast as I could on that, understanding to get into my shots and take my time. But also, if I felt like I was missing it, I was getting that second and third shot up, because that's the name of the game. So once I got to the last target, I looked up, I had 3 seconds. I said, don't smoke this layup. Don't do it.
I saw Erica run out.
In this building.
I thought for a second she was going to come out and block your shot, so I'm glad that didn't happen. But tell me a little bit. You hug Izzy. She's a teammate of yours for the New York Liberty. Your love. Tell me how important it is for you to share this moment with her.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a blessing for our careers to collide in New York, for us to both be feeling comfortable and safe in a New York organization that's just top tier through and through. But this is for our family. This mama over here told me I better win today for a down payment on a house, so maybe you're going to get that house.
That's a a great way to spend the money. I see Sabrina run over and hug you. Stewie's here. Your team is building something special right now. How do you build on this moment and this momentum to become champs yet again?
Honestly, the first half of the season was great. This All-Star break is a good reset for us, but we know we have everything we need in our locker room. We all we got, we all we need, and it's about Liberty Bibbity basketball. I know some of y'all are going to get mad by that, but it is what it is.
All right, this is what we know. Do not ever doubt this woman, Natasha Cloud. Congratulations.
Mom and Dad, I love y'all so much. I'm so sorry y'all couldn't be here tonight, but this for y'all. This award should have came a long time ago, but I got y'all 10 years in.
WNBA All-Star Game later tonight, 8:30 Eastern. You can see it on ABC. ESPN senior women's basketball writer Michael Vopel on game night on a rising star that happened to be second to none in this past draft.
Paige brings along a huge fan base from UConn, and she's got an it factor, just her personal popularity. So she's another player, and she's starting, so I don't want to leave her out. She's another player that I think has elevated the league as a whole, even though she's still just a really young kid. She's somebody that people want to watch.
Sports Center, 50 states in 50 days.
We're going coast to coast. We're going coast to coast.
On ESPN Radio.
Yeah, 50 states, 50 days. Sports Center road trip hits the state of Indiana. The Hoosier State, rich with hoops history from the high school ranks to Indiana University, having won 5 national championships. It's home to the Indiana Pacers, who just won 7 games in the NBA Finals versus Oklahoma City, while also home to Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. Both play at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, the venue for WNBA All-Star Weekend. So at this halfway point of sorts of the season, Hannah Storm and Elle Duncan joined by Chinea Gumukwe and Andrea Carter on first half takeaways.
When you talk about the first half of the season, I'll start with you, Chinea. What's been your biggest takeaway so far?
I know there's a lot of news and discussion when it comes to the CBA, but truly, the WNBA is where the money resides.
Yes.
And I think a good example of that is expansion, and there's no better, representative than the Golden State Valkyries. How tremendous they have been so far this season. You have a first-ever All-Star in program history, and Kayla Thornton, you see her right there. You have probably the favorite for Coach of the Year, Natalie Nakase, a candidate for Most Improved, and Veronica Burton. But overall, I heard, y'all, I'm going to just have to say it plainly, their games are lit.
Yeah.
They're selling out.
I've seen them play in person. Start to finish, they play so hard, no matter what the score is.
Trust me, I know this personally because I saw my sister squad, the Seattle Storm, struggle with them alongside the Aces and the Fever that have actually lost to this team coming out of the gates. I feel like 7 international players, 6 undrafted players. A lot of people maybe slept on them, myself included, but they have showed up and showed out and really set the bar and standard for the future expansion teams in the WNBA.
I love that you have no shame in saying you underestimated this Golden State Valkyries team. You also mentioned the CBA. I hope that the league and the Players Association get this figured out, because my takeaway from the first half is how competitive this league is, and how when you look at the top teams, there are so many contenders. I feel like in years in the past, you know this, Chinea, you know this, Elle, there would be 1 or 2 teams, maybe 3, that you knew were going to be in the finals every single time. You can't say that this year. You might have some that are favorites, but there are like 5 or 6 teams, whether it's the New York Liberty of Minnesota, who played last year. Atlanta Dream is a sneaky team. You've got Phoenix Mercury, a sneaky team. Seattle, your team out there. There are so many teams that are competitive. I can't tell you, Indiana Fever, of course, we're here. I can't tell you who's going to be in the finals. So that, to me, is the most fun.
You just heard him touch on this. WNBA players and league officials met Thursday for discussions on a new collective bargaining agreement. Players opt out of the current CBA last October and are seeking a better revenue sharing model, increased salaries, improved benefits, and a softer salary cap. Kendra Andrews, ESPN WNBA reporter, joined Freddie and Harry on where things stand in those negotiations.
A lot of players said it was a disappointment that, negotiations didn't really make a lot of progress in yesterday's conversation. The thing that the players are not budging on, they want more revenue shares. They want more pay. That's kind of what the sticking point is right now, and why these negotiations are kind of taking so long to really get any momentum, find any rhythm. It's a really big conversation. We spoke with Players Association VPs, Brianna Stewart and Nafisa Collier today. We spoke with Union President Nneka Agumake, and all of them kind of expressed the same thing, that there is definitely some frustration, that there is disappointment in how yesterday's meeting went. And while none of them want a lockout or any kind of strike, it is conversations that they're having in the background just to kind of mentally and physically prepare everyone for different options of what could happen.
And tomorrow brings the state of Hawaii as we go surfing with the next 50 and 50 stop for SportsCenter. You're listening to SportsCenter all night on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. I'm Jim Basquill. Back to the NFL, where the Steelers made outside linebacker T.J. Watt the league's highest paid defender. He agreed to a 3-year extension, average annual salary of $41 million, those 3 years totaling $123 in his agreement, and that on the back end of the final year of a 4-year deal. Ryan Clark on a deal that just had to get done.
Man, you had to do this, right? T.J. Watt earned this contract. You're taking care of all of these people that aren't lifelong Pittsburgh Steelers. You're going to get this sort of production from T.J. Watt this year, next year, and the year after. As long as he's healthy and he's on the field, you know what he produces. You also know the way that equates to wins for this team. This defense is going to be a big piece of why they win early this season as Aaron Rodgers gets acclimated, and having your star, the linchpin of your entire organization, not only happy but taken care of was a must. I love the deal by Omar Khan, and now T.J. Watt has to make him right.
This Steelers team has done a lot of work this offseason, bringing vets in via trade and signings. Of course, Aaron Rodgers under center. Where do things stand with their coach, Mike Tomlin, a subject for Mike Tannenbaum and Ryan Clark?
I go back to the 21st pick in the first round this year. They're on the clock. And typically the Pittsburgh Steelers would say draft and develop a quarterback. Is it Shedeur Sanders? Maybe it's Jackson Dart. Those quarterbacks are available, and they take a really good defensive lineman, Derek Harmon. And to me, at that moment, that signal that, hey, we're going to go get Aaron Rodgers, and this is all in. You know, to me, I think it's reasonable to speculate, is Mike Tomlin maybe close to the end and thinking like, hey, we're putting our chips in the middle of the table and we're going for it this year.
This wasn't for Mike T, but it was somebody else in the building. I was talking about Mike T and making sure they got the right pieces around him and having people that can move him forward and push his message forward and getting the right type of Steeler folks in the locker room. And I got the text message that I agree with everything you said, but the only place for Mike Tomlin, the coach, is in the Pittsburgh Steelers organization. And that means that he's built up enough equity. He's had enough deposits into the emotional bank accounts of the people in that building that I believe Mike Tomlin is going to be there as long as Mike Tomlin is going to be there now or wants to be there. I've said multiple times on this show and other shows that I don't believe Mike Tomlin should be fired. I do believe they should start having conversations year after year if this is the best marriage for both parties. If Mike Tomlin as the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers is what he wants and what the organization wants, and they think the best thing for both of them to move forward.
Micah Parsons got another.
This young kid has fire.
It's like he has a motor. He never gets tired.
He's the best defensive player in the league.
Mahomes under pressure. Parsons knocked it out.
Every quarterback is on the hit list. I want all of them. Be like the Terminator out there.
Yeah, so Watt got his deal. There are a few edge defenders out there still looking for theirs. One of those is Micah Parsons with the Dallas Cowboys. Clark again on Get Up on what message Dallas is sending.
It's not only about just how much more money you owe him now than you would have last year. It's about looking in that locker room and saying, we're going to make all of you fight tooth and nail to the end to get your deal. No matter who you are, no matter what you show us, it's going to take it to the last moment for you to actually get us to give you the money you deserve. And I think they have to get out of that mindset. Get into the mindset of if we draft you, if you produce, we take care of you, and we take care of you early. I think Jerry Jones has kind of been in this spot ever since we think back to Emmitt Smith holding out 2 games to get his contract. You have to do the right thing. If you're Jerry, it saves you money, but it also sends the message in the locker room. If you ball for us, we take care of you, not when we have to, but when you want to.
NFL sack leader last season, Trey Hendrickson, surprised no one as he was a no-show from minicamp looking for a new deal. Well, supporting Trey, and we'd love for him to be back.
They have a terrible defense except this guy, who is the only thing they've got on defense.
Camps open in earnest next week. Trey Hendrickson, another one looking for a new contract with the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati quarterback Joe Burrow on if he's thought about hitting the field without their best defender.
Obviously it's a possibility. It's not one that I think would make us a better team. So we'll see what ends up happening. I don't know what's going to happen. I wish I had an answer for you, but we'll see.
All right, so we know where Chris Canty stands on this. Maybe Joe Burrow is the guy to take down Patrick Mahomes ultimately. Evan Cohen, Courtney Cronin on quarterbacks that could ultimately dethrone the KC QB.
If it changes this year, like you could see an active, real-time changing of the guard where the Chiefs aren't as formidable as they've been in the past couple of years of automatically being penciled into the AFC Championship game before the season even starts, it would either be Josh Allen or Joe Burrow undoing that for Mahomes.
The only answer of anyone in my mind that could come close to surpassing Patrick Mahomes in rankings currently, not overall, not all time, not for a career, but literally playing out this season and then heading into next season, only one guy. If Jalen Hurts wins a second Super Bowl, gets back-to-back, and would have been in 3, he is the only person, to me, that could come close to surpassing Mahomes relative to a current in-the-moment rankings.
Interesting. How about another quarterback? One that hails from Miami. Dominique Foxworth on Get Up on the clock on both Tua and his coach.
Yeah, I think it's honestly a make-or-break season for a lot of people down in Miami right now, particularly the head coach and the quarterback. And so if things go wrong, especially considering Tua's injury history, and they're looking for a new head coach and they're looking for a new regime, I don't imagine that Tua is going to get another chance. And to the point that we were making earlier about it being really make-or-break if you're not going to get other chances elsewhere, again, the injury concerns for Tua are serious. And I can't imagine that there are any other teams outside of Miami that be interested in investing in him as a long-term solution. So I think if he puts up big numbers and has a great season, that changes the way that we talk about him, and it keeps the people who believe in him, it keeps them in their jobs there, and it keeps him in Miami.
That coach being Mike McDaniel. Meantime, SEC Media Days. Arkansas football coach Sam Pittman says the $2.8 billion antitrust settlement has leveled the playing field in college football, explaining that the settlement allows schools to share better than $20 million with athletes, helping Arkansas compete financially with SEC powerhouses like Georgia and Alabama. The settlement addressing disparities caused by name, image, and likeness payments. More from the Hogs head man.
Financially, with revenue sharing, I think now we're back on even keel with everybody, which we weren't. You just read that off. When we were even, we went from 4-20 to top 20 in 2 years. And so I think the program has a chance to get back up to around those 9+ wins than where we were before, just simply because we have the finances to back that. We've got a good football team. We've got a good staff. We've got great facilities, and we got a great state of fans at the University of Arkansas and the state of Arkansas. There's no reason we can't do it. If I was going to make an excuse, it would be financially is why we haven't done quite as well as where we were projected my first 2 years. But I think now, with it being even, look out, the Razorbacks are coming on.
ESPN college football writer David Hale on Game Night on who's the best signal caller in that conference.
Would it shock me if Arch Manning is the best quarterback in the SEC this year and ends up being a number 1 overall draft pick? Of course not. His last name is Manning. I understand how DNA works. I think he'll be really darn good. But you look up and down the league, and there's so many names that you can point to. Lenora Sellers coming off a great year last year, and you know what kind of damage he can do with both his arm and his legs. DJ Lagway, he hinted at how good he could be, but the talent is off the charts there.
Coming up, can Notre Dame build off last season, which led them to the title game? We'll hear from Coach Marcus Freeman, and the night's top sounds are ready to be heard. That's next. This is SportsCenter All Night on ESPN Radio. That's next. This is SportsCenter All Night on ESPN Radio.
This summer, we're bringing the Sports Center party to the locals.
50 states and 50 days tours.
There we go. That's based it up the middle.
Today is ESPN Sports Center Day in Louisville, Kentucky.
50 states, 50 days.
Oh!
Maybe it doesn't get any better than that.
This is Sports Center on tour.
More Sports Center all night. Coming up next.
Sedano and Cap.
Today at 3 p.m. after Mason in Ireland.
You can make a good omelet with 2 eggs at the house.
At least 3 eggs. I think you should say things like at the crib rather than at the house. Sounds cooler.
Okay.
You can use 2 eggs when you're at the crib versus you can use 2 eggs when you're at the house. Crib versus house.
Okay.
Makes you sound cooler.
All right. Sedano and Cap weekdays at 3 p.m.
on 710 ESPN.
Ready to level.
I went to Cabo. When I went to Cabo, the hotel had one in the bathroom, and I was just like, my wife like made the executive decision, like, we're getting one of these.
Okay, it cleans you up. It cleans you up. Like those little white.
And look, I would say this, like, you know, in California, it can get cold in the mornings and overnight, right? You know what I'm saying? And when you sit down that first time, oh, wait.
Hey.
Sedano and Cap on 710. The fun way to drive home.
Sedano and Cap.
Angels baseball is right here on the all-new ESPN LA app.
And O'Hoppe swings at this one. This ball is clobbered as well out to left field, and that one is way out of here as well.
This summer, don't miss a moment of every Angels game.
Deep down the left side to left field, and it's out of here.
Every big play, every strikeout, every home run of the Halos is right here. Just click the Angels tile when Angels baseball is on, and you're hearing all the action on the all-new ESPN LA app.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad, just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Mason and Ireland.
One night, John was at one of my parties, and as he was on his way out the door, he'd had a couple of drinks.
More than a couple.
He said to me, thanks for coming.
To his party.
To my party.
The biggest show on the radio, weekdays at noon.
On 710 ESPN.
This is Sports Center all night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Now, here's Jim Basquill.
Yeah, we're back with Sports Center all night with the night's top sounds, all about the return of Major League Baseball.
Sports Center all night.
Oh, my goodness. Check it out on Sports Center tonight.
Today's top sound.
How good is that? Are you ready to take?
Number 5.
Jim, it's all baseball tonight as the second half of the MLB season begins. Taylor Ward of the Angels breaks a tie on Angels Radio AM 830.
Pitch swung on, and that ball is driven to left field and way back there, and that ball is not coming back. Taylor Ward hits It's his 22nd home run of the year, and he's given the Angels a 6-4 lead, and the Boo Birds are out in Philadelphia.
Number 4.
San Diego's Manny Machado smacks a grand slam against the Nats on 97.3 The Fan.
Pitch on the way. Manny swings, hits it in the air to deep left field. Wood is going back. He looks up. It's going to go. Manny Machado hits the Padres' first grand slam of 2025. And it's a big one against Kyle Finnegan here in the 9th inning as the Padres break it open and go ahead 7-2.
Number 3.
The Diamondbacks' Alec Thomas flashes some leather against St. Louis on Arizona Sports 98.7 FM.
There's a swing. That ball's hammered. Deep left center field. Long run for Thomas, and oh my goodness, what a catch! Oh, Alec Thomas, you beauty! You absolute beauty!
Number 2.
The game of the night, Miami and KC, as Kyle Stowers wins it for the Marlins on 940 Wins.
1-1. Kyle swinging away, out to right and deep. The All-Star leaves the yard. Welcome to the second half. Same Kyle. A walk-off, 2-run home run. 8-7, the Marlins get the win in 10. This guy is unbelievable.
Number 1.
Atlanta's Ronald Acuna Jr. showing off his unbelievable arm in a 301-foot no-bounce assist on 680 The Fan.
Strider's 2-2. And there's a high towering fly ball to deep right field. Acuna back towards the corner. Shy of the warning track, makes the catch in deep right. Lemas tags from second, and he goes into third base, and they got it standing. He is shocked. He had no idea who was in right field. That's Ronald Acuna.
Yeah, he got duped. He got duped at third base. That was our Marty Hausberger with those top plays. Halfway through the Open Championship, Scotty Scheffler, a second-round 64, fueled by 8 birdies, 1 shot up on Matt Fitzpatrick, had this post-round.
8 birdies today. Incredible. What went well, or what was different than yesterday, I guess?
Yeah, I felt like I hit a few more fairways than I did yesterday. Hit some really nice iron shots and was able to hold some putts.
Yeah, he has finished inside the top 25 in all 15 starts this season, has 12 top 10s this season, 4 more than any other player on the tour. Meantime, Notre Dame Fighting Irish, they advanced to the national championship game, as you recall, last year, losing to Ohio State, marking their 3rd appearance in the college football playoff semifinals. Head coach Marcus Freeman led the team to a 14-win season, their first in program history. Had this now on the pressures after last year going into this season. He joined Unsportsmanlike.
Well, I think every year I've been the head coach, and I'm sure many years before I was a head coach, the ultimate goal is to be a national champion. Like, that's why you coach, that's why you play. You want to win this game and be at the mountaintop. And so for us to be as close as we were last year, I think for everybody in our program told us that, okay, we know what it takes, right? We can be good enough. We can get there. And we can compete with the best of the best. And so I think for us, it's helped us now with the younger generation, because at the end of the day, talent matters. At the end of the day, you have to get some of those best players in the country that fit our football program and our university to come to Notre Dame. And I think being able to make that national championship run has really opened the eyes of a lot of high school kids.
And he got a contract extension for a job well done. The Clippers make it official, signing Bradley Beal after his buyout from the Phoenix Suns. Shohei Ohtani, meantime, expected to pitch 3 innings against the Twins on Monday as he gradually increases his workload following elbow surgery. Ohtani has co-written a children's book featuring his dog Decoy. It's titled Decoy Saves Opening Day. Follows him as he scrambles to retrieve his lucky baseball before throwing out the first pitch on opening day. And I know our Tara Slajewski has already bought a copy of that book from her favorite writer. Again, Reds Mets today, 3:30 Eastern, ESPN Radio. Thanks for staying up all night. For producer Steve Risser and technical director Jake Boson, I'm Jim Basquil. The best of Unsportsmanlike is next.
Hey, it's Michelle Smallman, and coming up Monday, the Browns have 5 quarterbacks on their roster, but how many of them will actually start during the regular season? It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Don't miss Travis and DeMarco.
Live from LA Live. Coming up this morning at 9 a.m.
I made a huge mistake, though, and this is where I'm just officially an old man. Yeah. I had a Coke. A 16-ounce bottle of Coca-Cola at 9 o'clock at night was a massive mistake.
Oh, were you up?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah. I'm operating on about 3 hours of sleep today.
Look at you.
But
okay.
Feeling great.
Good for
feeling
you.
Great.
Travis Rogers and DeMarco Farr.
On 710 ESPN.
Ready to level up? Chumba Casino is your playbook to fun. It's free to play with no purchase necessary. Enjoy hundreds of online social games like blackjack, slots, and solitaire. Anytime, anywhere with fresh releases every week. Whether you're at home or on the go, let Chumba Casino bring the excitement to you. Plus, get free daily login bonuses and a free welcome bonus. Join now for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. Play Chumba Casino today. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. T&Cs apply.
ESPN LA is black and gold. Follow LAFC on the quest for trophies all season long. Every match, every pass, every goal.
Oh, Olivier! He drops to his knees and implores the heavens.
The home of LAFC is 710 ESPN and the ESPN LA app.
Felt so good.
Transitioning out of the military, it's difficult. Just about everything around you changes. I would get phone calls that brothers were dying, some of them to suicide. And I'd found myself in another cold cemetery. And I started to wonder if I was next. It's a struggle to know that you're facing challenges, but not being ready to face them. Sleep doesn't come easy. And when it comes, it doesn't last long. You're tired all the time. I didn't reach out for that help, but thank God my wife did. She got me registered for Wounded Warrior Project. Talking to somebody that would listen to me and understood my story helped me realize that it was time to change. There's a new fight, there's a new mission, and that's something I'm eternally grateful for.
See how we help warriors combat stigma at woundedwarriorproject.org/combat stigma.
Over 2.8 million Americans have served in our military since 9/11. Many have returned home with devastating injuries and few resources for them and their families. This is news correspondent Bob Woodruff. I sustained a life-threatening injury while reporting from Iraq in 2006. The military had my back that day, and they have each other's while serving. It's time we had theirs. Please join us as part of the Got Your Six initiative. To learn more, go to gotyoursix.org using the number 6.
710 ESPN, your home for the 17-time world champion Lakers.
KSPN Los Angeles, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
This is the best of Unsportsmanlike with Evan Canty and Michelle on ESPN Radio.
We are Unsportsmanlike here on ESPN Radio, ESPNU, along with Michelle Smallman, Evan Cohen with you, Courtney Cronin in for Chris Canty today. She is in Connecticut in the seat that she just refused to sit in. We found some fill-in for the fill-in is this Marcus Freeman guy, head coach Notre Dame, and he joins us here on Unsportsmanlike. I guess we have to, we had such great off-air conversation. He's so kind and nice. So let's start with the negative. Courtney, would you like to take Coach Freeman to task as an IU grad? Go ahead.
I can't possibly take him to task when his team wiped the floor with my Indiana Hoosiers, but I will say, for what we saw from the college football playoff last year in the environment of what Notre Dame Stadium was like, Coach, getting more of these games on college campuses, is that the emphasis that we should be focusing on for the first two rounds?
Yeah, I think that the ability to have a on-campus college football playoff game is tremendous. It's great for college football to know that we hosted the first one in college football history at Notre Dame Stadium. Was like, it's like how it's supposed to be scripted. Mm-hmm. But I also don't want to lose the magnitude of those bowl games either. The bowl games that rotate for the quarterfinals and those type of things. Like, that's something special for our players too, mm-hmm. to be able to go and experience some type of bowl game, right? And even though it's a playoff game, you still get some type of experience. So you don't want to get away from that. And so people often ask me, would you rather have a home playoff game or a bye? I'm taking a bye. You take the automatic win for sure.
So Coach Freeman has an unbelievable resume in just a short period of time. I mean, he's been at Notre Dame 4 years as the head coach, really 3 full-time, 9-4, 10-3, 14-2. Obviously, last year,
fun way to drive home is with Sedano and Cap.
I'm a believer that you play and cater to your teammates' strengths. And Cappy's strength is shenanigans.
Give you one
and an occasional hot take.
Sedano and Cap.
Weekdays at 3 p.m.
on 710 ESPN.
That's an easy answer. You definitely change the outcome of the national championship game. I think in the moment, when you're young, you have this dream of playing in the NFL for 10, 15 years and figuring out life after that. And for me, it obviously didn't last that long, but you move on to the next chapter of your life. But I'm grateful for the opportunity and grateful for what the game of football taught me as a player. But, now it's about being able to help young people reach their goals. And, for me, winning that national championship is not as much about me as much as I want the players in our program, the people that sacrifice, to be able to call themselves a champion. And so that's something I aspire to do.
Coach, there are some brands in sports that transcend everything, that are just omnipresent, and Notre Dame is one of them because of the history, the tradition of winning. And you had a lot of success last year. You get to the national championship. But for some programs, you got to bring it home. And I imagine Notre Dame is one of those, obviously. How has the pressure around the job and the brand of Notre Dame changed since you went to the national championship game? That's something we in sports media talk about a lot. Programs and organizations with pressure to win. How has that shifted since you got close?
Well, I think every year I've been the head coach, and I'm sure many years before I was a head coach, the ultimate goal is to be a national champion. Like, that's why you coach, that's why you play. You want to win this game and be at the mountaintop. And so for us to be as close as we were last year, I think for everybody in our program told us that, okay, we know what it takes, right? We can be good enough. We can get there. And we can compete with the best of the best. And so I think for us, it's helped us now with the younger generation. Because at the end of the day, talent matters. At the end of the day, you have to get some of those best players in the country that fit our football program and our university to come to Notre Dame. And I think being able to make that national championship run has really opened the eyes of a lot of high school kids.
We're talking with Marcus Freeman, head coach Notre Dame, here on Unsportsmanlike, presented by Progressive Insurance, along with Michelle Smallman, Evan Cohen, Courtney Cronin, in for Chris Canty today. Coach, perception versus reality. Perception is college football is night and day different than it used to be. NIL, transfer portal, kids are not made up, young student athletes, are not made up the same way as they used to be. That's perception. Reality is what?
Reality is young people are young people. Right? You're talking about 18 to 22-year-olds. And now, are young people now in college athletics compensated? Yeah. But that doesn't change. I think there's a misconception that you can't coach and lead young people the way you used to because now they're making money. And that's not the reality of it. I think you have to double down on relationships, right? They have to trust you, but young people desire to be coached. They desire to be led if you can help make them better. And that's our job. And so we coach them hard, but it still starts with the trust aspect. They have to trust us. We have to be intentional about developing relationships with them.
But just a quick follow-up on that. So let's talk about the relationship. Like, how quickly does that need to happen? Because you get Riley Leonard from Duke last year, right? He's your quarterback. With any coach-quarterback relationships, there's going to be moments where you're hugging. There's going to be moments where you're telling each other off because, like, that when it's good, it's that. That needs to happen quickly, no?
Yeah, and it doesn't happen instantly. Trust is built over time, and you can't. You can try to find ways to expedite that process, but you have to be intentional about building trust. We have to be intentional about setting meetings together. We have to be intentional about having those certain type of connections that it takes time and it takes conversation. It takes authentic conversations and reality and relationships to have. And so you can't rush it. You can try to expedite it, but it's not something that's going to be built instantly.
Evan mentioned it, the name Riley Leonard. There will be a new name under center for you guys. I know there's a quarterback competition about to take place during fall camp. And then in conjunction with the schedule, we've known these opponents for a while, but the order of which coming out at Miami to start the season against Texas A&M, Purdue, at Arkansas, and then Boise State, all within the first 5 weeks. How do you prepare a quarterback, whoever it's going to be, knowing the expectations of last season, where last season ended off, knowing just how tough that stretch is going to be, how do you best put them in position for success?
Yeah, I think every year you have a foundation for how you want to prepare in training camp. And that foundation hasn't changed over my 4 years as a head coach. But each year you modify your practices and what you're doing based off what your team needs, what this group of talent needs to make sure we're ready to go for week one. Well, we have two guys that are battling for this quarterback position that neither of them have true in-game starting experience. And so we have to find unique ways to create, to get them some of that experience in training camp. And so we have to be intentional about some unscripted periods, right? They have to make decisions. They have to see some things they haven't seen, and they got to kind of understand the pressure that it's going to happen when game one's coming, and we got to find ways to do that in practice. And so I'm looking forward to it. I love competition. I think, it's truly going to make the entire team better, especially those two quarterbacks. But we'll be unique a little bit in our training camp, but we still won't stray away from our foundation.
Well, you spoke specific to quarterbacks, but let's talk holistically about the team. Anytime that you have a success, but you don't reach your ultimate goal, that's a chance to learn. It's a chance to grow. What did you learn from last year that you want to take and spin forward this year and implement as you head into this season?
Yeah, I think you made a great point. I think if I look back, not even just last year, but every year, especially, I'll use the years I've been a head coach, you take valuable lessons from the experience of the previous year, and you have to use those valuable lessons and examples for the foundation of the future and for the present. And no different than last year, there was a lot of ups, there was some downs, but there were valuable lessons. Right? I think the biggest lessons, we know what it takes. We know we're not talking about trying to do something that's never been done, right? And the last national championship Notre Dame football team was in 1988, and so. Now,
Tony Rice, loved that guy.
Yeah,
he was so. Everybody talks about Rocket and stuff. Like Tony Rice as the quarterback was very good.
It always starts with the quarterback.
Yeah. You see the jersey behind me? That was mine. No big deal. It's a high school quarterback.
Coach, he threw 8 interceptions in one game.
So you guys didn't go to the championship, huh?
How many interceptions automatically do you take a quarterback out?
Yeah, great question.
Because a lot of people are blaming my coach. I blame myself. I did throw 8 in one game. Like if you have a quarterback that gets to 4 or 3, automatically out, or
I will never be on record saying automatically out, but I will say 8, you're automatically out.
Okay,
automatically.
So that also you would have allowed me to get to 8. That's interesting. That is interesting. Sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead, finish whatever you were saying there.
Yeah, just again, as we were talking about, just the lessons that you've learned from the previous years should be the foundation for your future. And I think the biggest thing for our team is, like, we know what it takes. Mm-hmm. Right now, that doesn't mean we're going to automatically do it, but we know the work it takes. We know what the journey is. And so experience is so important. I think we're all better because of the experience we've had in our life. And so there's nothing, it's very similar to last year.
Coach, that game, the Northern Illinois game, when I'm watching that and you guys lose by 2 points, there is no part of me that would have ever thought you would have ended up in the national championship. Will that go down as the most significant game of your coaching tenure, you think?
That was probably the most important game of last year for sure. I think the next game coming up will be the most important game of my coaching tenure.
All right.
And then after that,
here we go. We got the Tom Brady response. I love it.
But I'll tell you what, although losing is never fun, and you can't lose. And
you can't lose at all at Notre Dame?
You don't want to accept losing. No, you don't want to ever.
But like one loss is too many at Notre Dame?
For me, absolutely.
Shouldn't that be the approach anywhere, though?
Yeah.
I mean, yes, Notre Dame carries a certain weight with it.
You don't ever want to.
Shouldn't that be the mentality of any team ever?
Amen. Sure. You don't ever want to lose. And I just think there were so many valuable lessons for our program, but for me as a head coach, that we learned after that loss in Northern Illinois.
You win Coach of the Year last year. You have a 33-10 record at Notre Dame. You haven't been there that long, but you've already accomplished so much. How do you go about your own personal goal setting? I know you're going to have goals for the team, and the team's going to look inward and think of what they want to accomplish. But for you specifically, how do you go about setting your checklist for the 2025 season?
Yeah, I think two different things. I think of what's my job as the head coach, right? What is my job as a head coach, and the things I want to achieve this year for this football team, and how do I go about doing that? And then, at the end of the day, my why is trying to help these young people become the best version of them. I want the young people that choose our program to become better football players because they chose to play football at Notre Dame while I'm the head coach, and to be better after they're done playing football because they chose Notre Dame and I'm the head coach. And so that's why I do it. And I'm always challenging myself to find ways to get better as an individual every single day. But at the end of the day, I got to always remember, like, this is about helping the people you lead become better.
Coach, this job is rigorous in itself, and there's been so much discourse about the new landscape of college football and what that's like for someone in your position, how the transfer portal has changed everything, recruiting has changed because of NIL and things like that. Do you ever get a break? Do you ever get like a real break in the off season where you're not on the phone, you're not recruiting, you're not having to scheme things up? Like, do you ever get a period where you could just chill for a little bit with your family?
Yeah, we get a little bit of time out of the office. I don't know if it's a break. We went on a 2-week Disney cruise. We brought 5 of our kids. Our oldest was back here in the States wrestling, but we went to Europe and did a Mediterranean Disney cruise. And
nice.
My wife was smart, and she said, we're going to get him out of the country. We're going to get him as far away from his office as we can get him. But I did have Wi-Fi, and sometimes I had cell service. So you could stay connected, but you had to disconnect physically for a while. But a Disney cruise with 5 kids it's still work now.
Oh, no, that's a break.
By the way, all of a sudden, if we find out that Notre Dame has signed a linebacker from Greece, we will know where that happened. Marcus Freeman was doing that on his trip. I'm a big believer, if you say something behind their back, you got to say it to their face. So I want to say this to your face. I think Mike Tomlin is a first ballot Hall of Fame coach. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers would be nuts to get rid of him. I think that there always is a chance that Mike Tomlin walks away. We've discussed the idea of if there was an opening for the Pittsburgh Steelers, who they should hire, and I have said you. How do you feel hearing that?
Well, I have to thank you. I think about Mike Tomlin and who he is and what he represents, and I have a personal relationship with him, and to be even mentioned as a person that could follow in the footsteps of Mike Tomlin is humbling, and I appreciate it. Now, with that being said, I got the greatest job in America. I often say that I got 101, and the opportunity to lead this program is an opportunity of a lifetime.
Can we just finish with this? I know we're running over here, but over, under 2.5, the amount of time, 3.5, the amount of times you've seen Rudy?
Over.
Like, is it like you have to watch it, or?
Well, I watched it as a kid.
Yeah.
And then
is it your favorite football movie, though?
As the head coach at Notre Dame, yes.
If I'm asking you on a Disney cruise?
You didn't ask me on a Disney cruise.
I have to go to Europe to ask you this question?
It doesn't sound like a bad proposition.
Wow.
We'll make that happen. We'll interview
Bold
Coach
headline, Marcus Freeman's favorite movie, not Rudy. Coach, thank you so much for the time. We genuinely appreciate it. You're great. Thank you so much. Marcus Freeman, head coach Notre Dame. We're on Sportsmanlike, presented by Progressive Insurance.
This is Joe and Q.
When you think about the elite of the elite, these guys that are in those categories, they hate to lose more than they love to win. People will say, that's not possible, Q. No, it is. There's people that loss will sit with them and drive them nuts, right? It'll be like a knife in the rib. They'll lay in bed at night and how did that happen? How did that happen? As opposed to winning, you get the championship, you're like, all right, that's fantastic. What's for dinner?
Joe and Q, weekdays from noon to 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.